I'm going to introduce you to a new TV series. It's called instead of the TV show there was on Fox, what was it, 90210? Yeah. I'm going to introduce you to a TV series called Zip Code 22015.
2, 3, hit!
Zip code 22015. And that's where I live, that's my neighborhood.
Econ professor John Min lives in a neighborhood haunted by what economists call a spillover effect, or an externality, a situation in which an unintended cost or benefit of an activity falls on people besides those pursuing the activity.
When I first moved in, I could tell right away the most important thing in that neighborhood is what?
Car.
No, that's what I thought, but we are beyond cars. What is it?
Lawn.
Condition of the lawn. You know what that is? It's a sad to admit, I live in a neighborhood where, how can I say it? They judge content of your character by the condition of the lawn.
And John's neighbors expect the world to judge them by the condition of all the lawns in the neighborhood.
Here's my neighbor's lawn. Isn't it nice?
Now, both John and his next-door neighbor Dennis have lovely lawns. There is, however, what John calls a lawn failure.
The problem is this. We have a beautiful lawn, but we have a lawn failure. There's a property line that goes right down the middle on this patch of the lawn. This side belongs to me, and that side belongs to Dennis.
And the two neighbors have never been able to cooperate on watering this patch. So it goes brown in the summer, which not only makes John and Dennis feel bad, in economic terms that's an emotional cost to them, but lowers the entire neighborhood's self-respect, a much broader social cost. To stick with the language of lawn watering, a spillover cost from John and Dennis's actions, also known in economics as a negative externality.
When you come to my house, when you drive into that cul-de-sac, when you park right here and you look up, you're going to see a patch of dirt because no one takes care of that lawn. Now here's a more important question though. How can we fix this?
At this point, Professor Min began suggesting possible solutions to the problem.
And they can subsidize.
When suddenly, another externality rang in.
What is that? Is that a phone?
Yeah.
Did you just get a phone call?
Yes.
In the classroom?
Yep.
Whoa. All right, do me a big favor. Could you count the seconds? Okay. Who's calling you right now?
No. Hello?
Is anyone there?
I don't think I know this person.
Wrong number? Doesn't even make it worse.
A wrong number. No big deal, it seemed, to the guy who got the call, but shouldn't it be?
Time out. We just experienced what type of externality? Action of one individual had a spillover cost. Who felt it?
All of us.
You felt it? What happened? We were lecturing about the externality and suddenly we had to stop because of action of one person, but it affected all of us. So now, Mahmoud, how should we solve this problem?
Mahmoud's cell phone call has a clear external cost, which we, as good economists, are about to graph. But first, let's put price, as usual, on the y-axis, and on the x-axis, quantity. Here, the total number of cell phone calls, assuming, to keep the numbers simple, that each call lasts 1 minute. Here's a very rough sketch of Mahmoud's individual cost curve for the cell phone calls he takes in class, including the cost of the phone service and the value of Mahmoud's own scarce time. MMC, Mahmoud's marginal cost. At first phone call wouldn't cost him much, but once he uses up his monthly quota, calls start costing more and more, and with each marginal call, he's using more and more of his own time, which becomes more precious the less of it he has. That's why the marginal cost curve slopes up. MMB, Mahmoud's marginal benefit curve. If he checks caller ID and takes only the most important calls, say from a prospective date, those first ones provide a high benefit. But if he loosens his rule and takes more and more, each marginal call will be less valuable. and Mahmoud gets a lot of calls. Mahmoud's marginal cost curve intersects with his marginal benefit curve about here, which reveals the number of calls Mahmoud would be willing to take during class, where the marginal benefits exactly equal the marginal costs. But, and here's the big but, the calls he chooses to take cost his fellow students, and their cost isn't on the graph. A modest cost, as it happens, this being a community college. Still, John Min and the class set out to estimate the damage.
But you know what? The harm has been done. We need to be compensated somehow. So how should I do it?
You can take a look at how much money, the tuition every one of them paid to be in the class.
Say in-state students pay $108 for a 2-credit course like this one.
And how much time I've been talking on the phone.
As it turned out, about 1 minute. So 24 one-hour classes per semester equals how many total minutes in class?
Where's your piece of paper? Where's the paper? You can use the phone. If you have the phone calculator. And if you're not really good with math, this is a good time to call your buddy. Lifeline, right?
24 classes times 60 minutes, 1,440 minutes per semester. And $108 in tuition divided by those 1,440 minutes gets you what cost per minute?
7.5 cents times 20 people in the class, and it would be $1.50.
The class has estimated a spillover or external cost of $1.50 per minute for cell phone use during class time. And adding the spillover costs to Mahmoud's individual marginal costs gives us a new curve, a social marginal cost curve that represents one way to reckon the costs to everyone of Mahmoud's indiscretion, not counting the Virginia taxpayers who are subsidizing much of this class. Moreover, if this had taken place at a private school like Dartmouth, DePaul, or Duke, you'd be talking tuition of more than $25,000 a year, which works out to something over $2 a minute per person. In an econ lecture of 700, then, a measly 1-minute interruption could have a spillover cost of more than $1,400. But it's not a factor in the call taker's decision because she or he doesn't have to pay it. So a social marginal cost curve better reflects all the costs associated with the transaction. And to an economist, all the costs are key. Any truly efficient outcome would include them. And how do we determine an efficient outcome? It's here, at the intersection of the social marginal cost curve and the marginal benefit curve. Because here, everyone's costs are considered, and far fewer calls, only those worth all the costs, are taken. Excuse me for a second. No, look, I can't listen to that right now. It'd cost society a fortune. See, if I took that call for even a minute, even at a low opportunity cost of your time, say $10 an hour, I'd have used about 17 cents of your time, multiplied by, say, 500,000 of you who use McGraw-Hill econ textbooks, $80,000 or more of your collective time wasted by this one negative externality. Unless, of course, in this case, it was worth something to you in instructional or amusement value, in which case you'll have to do the math. But the point is, negative externalities are everywhere. From two-person transactions like John Min and his neighbor,
And I say, hi, Dennis. And he says, hi, John.
that are in theory at least easy to resolve, to ones with wider impact, as with our cell phone call examples, to externalities that affect indeterminate numbers of people, such as airplanes that transport their passengers in relative quiet but can deafen the rest of us, porn that can offend us, pollution that can poison us. All are market failures, in that the usual concepts of marginal cost and marginal benefit don't result in an efficient outcome, because the decision maker's marginal cost curve doesn't include everyone else's costs. And if society doesn't account for the negative externalities of something, it gets more of that something than it would want. The market has failed to send the right signals, failed to come up with the most efficient outcome.
I'm going to ask you to get up or leave.
The class is trying to dial up a workable solution.
So what can we do?
You take off points from his test.
Now, government intervention is one obvious way to correct the market failure of externalities. And in fact, most grade and high schools and some colleges simply ban cell phones in class and confiscate them when they ring. But as an economist, John Min has taken on the role of government to apply a more economical solution, a tax.
You owe us $1.50, then I don't kick you out. Is that a deal?
Sure.
All right, give me $1.50.
Only $1.
Where's the 50 cents?
I don't have it.
Professor Min took a pen for the 50 cents.
What do you think, 50 cents? All right, so 50. Anyway, so is it okay? You take the $1.50, you get to stay. So here we go. Here's the rule in this classroom. It is okay for you to receive phone call in my classroom as long as we know that the cost, the tax that you're going to incur, how much is that? It's $1.50 per minute.
And that the tax money at the end of the semester will be shared by all in the form, in this case, of a class pizza party.
Is that a good deal? And you can answer the
But
phone.
free pizza isn't really the point, which we can see with one last look at our graph. The $1.50 per minute tax shifts Mahmoud's marginal cost curve, resulting in a new, greatly reduced equilibrium quantity. Mahmoud will now choose to take way fewer calls. Not this many, but this many. And that benefits everyone in the class. We end by pointing out that in a classroom like this, figuring out the total social cost isn't that tough, nor is the problem that tough to resolve. But when it gets to negative externalities like airplane noise, porn, or pollution, involving billions of dollars and the health of millions of people, it's a whole lot tougher.